Well, welcome everybody. Let's see here. Image 3. And we'll transition. There we go. Tonight what I'm going to do is I've got to get this thing ready to paint. So I looked all around. I could not find my aqua green, but leave it to Amazon to send me a new tube. If you like the aqua green spot putty, I suggest you go on Amazon and get it, because unlike most times, this has had a 50% price drop. It's from American Mechanic in Lakeland, Florida. Anyway, it's usually like $28, $28 a tube, but this was down in the $10 range. This is the 05096 Aqua Green Glazing Putty. Don't use much of this stuff. This stuff is heavy. This tube of putty weighs, so if I were to smear this all over my airplane, weighs a pound, 15.35 ounces. So 15 and a half ounces. But we ain't going to use much of it. So let's see, where's the mouse? There it is. Hey, good evening, Alan. So let's see here. We'll change that. Transition. As I showed in the last video, made the wheel spats. There is a ton of work to get this done by the end of next month. So what I want to do here, first off, is we'll get the aqua green starting to set up. The reason I'm using some aqua green is the superfill that I used left a slight transition right there, and if I keep digging right there, I'll dig a hole. So we'll get a razor blade as a putty spreader, maybe. I need a piece of plastic here to put the putty on, and a razor blade. Remember, you don't want to use much of this stuff. It's heavy, 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 heavy. When you get this, kind of knead the tube like that. That gets the, I think it has lacquer thinner in it or whatever. That'll get it kind of shook around, because when you open this up, it always comes out with a turd. Yep. This aqua, really strong. This aqua green is so much superior to the red lead or the gray primer looking spot putty that we used to use. So we're going to take a little bit there. And by the time I get the bottom side sanded, this will be set up, and I'll come back to be able to feather this in. Try to get it smoothed out and as thin as possible. Another thing, don't use this in any fillet area because it will lift. The dope will attack it and you'll be crying with a bubble. So we'll get this feathered in, turn it over and sand the bottom spots. These the winglets here, I'll show you that too. They came out pretty nice. But we could skim that with acrylic. Now you car guys might want to use the polyester 2-part. Don't use it, it's too heavy. It's even heavier than this. If you like windy, use Bondo. No good. This acrylic green is for just small imperfections. And I'm using it here to think of it as thick paint. So if I were to use acrylic green on this airplane, we could kill the job that I've done trying to keep it light. So any transition here, there's one little spot right there. We're gonna sand it all off anyway. I might as well go around and hit any of these spots that yeah, that'll be fine. So that's it. That's all we're going to put on for the acrylic. I'll go ahead and flip this over. And we'll start sanding out the underside while that's drying. Let's do this spot right here first. You could use some acrylic right there, but we won't put that on there until after I get this sanded out. Okay. So here's some rough spots here. Tell you what, when you start sanding on these things, it's like a never-ending process. You know, how good a finish do you want? Just so happen to catch the light just right, and I can see on the leading edge there something that just sticks out like a sore thumb. Let me move this down so I catch the filler on the paper instead of going in the carpet. You guys are probably tired of watching me sand. But if you're going to build these airplanes, that's what it's about. It's the sanding business. I saw on the forum they were asking about Win Paul's history of Stunt magazine. I sure like to see that because my Thunderbolt number 3 was in 2007 Plane of the Year. But alas, just like the gentleman said, it probably never get published because there's no money in books. Super Bill Sands easy. We're already there. I think I need a round object. I know we'll use my what am I gonna use? I guess we can use this. I have a Durablock, but I think that it's the wrong radius. Too big. So we'll use something with a little smaller radius and just eyeball sand. Close enough. Let's check the fit. I think that was this side. Put it on and take it off. Nope, it was the other side. Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good, pretty good. Good, good. Okay, so let's get some 320 and finish that out. That's going to take some more dope. Grinding through the paper. I still have about half of my dope that I've allotted for base, because all I've done is add thinner, add thinner, add thinner, and so I still got about a quart of thinned, clear, white tinted dope. And that's, I got enough to do the fuselage, but I'll go around and I'll hit these areas here that are problem areas. This is 320. Trying to feather it, finish feathering it out. There should be no hard line. It should kind of melt. And there we go. And Superfill, pretty easy to sand. I think it's a whole lot easier to sand than anything except balsa. Not like the old micro balloons and epoxy or epoxylite. Yeah, that's good enough. Let's do Let's do this area here. We still got the elevator, stabilizer, and wing fillets to do. Been on 15 minutes. I should be able to complete this in the hour. This is going to be a little difficult because it's an oddball shape. Remember, it's about desire. Don't have as many people watching tonight. I guess maybe because I'm early or they're bored of me. Maybe I'll get Dave Day come on here and say, you're doing it again. I think that Dave Day guy was some kind of big thing in England or something. He got after me over the Tucker. That's all right. So I need a polywog. I know I got one. I'm gonna need this stick too. And yeah, I use a lot of different shapes and things to do the job. I might even use a motor tool on that. I don't know. Dremel. Let's try that. This is dangerous here. I got it. That's all that counts is I got it. Still need that polywog. Where the hell did it go? So now I got 3 tubes of aqua green somewhere. I think it's probably in St. Louis. There is a polywog of sort. A rubber. Get yourself one of these 3M wet dry squeegees. Now, what these are for when you're wet sanding, you can take and wipe down the area that you're wet sanding and it gets all the water off so you can see the pinholes. But I use it as a sanding implement. I use it as, for what it's for and whatever it takes. I use whatever it takes to get the job done. I got to get this putty off of here. I used it as a putty backer here, it looks like. I got Got that aqua green all over this. I didn't put it on today. So what I probably did was I put acro green on here and did this spot the last time I was doing acro. But let's see. Got a fingernail file here. Your wife or girlfriend's fingernail files like this work real good too. Whatever it takes. I used to go into Walgreens and say to the lady, "Hey, you got any fingernail files?" "Well, certainly. How many you need?" And I'd say, "All of them." Remember, I've got to get this flat before the fillet goes in. So that's basically what I'm working on here, getting her flat. This is a difficult one. I had a big step in this. That's high right there. That's going to show. It's going to kill me. This step up where I put that carbon in there. I might have to aqua green this side too. Yep, that's what's going to happen. Aqua green on this side too. Aqua green. As you guys can tell, I like 3M products. All the sandpaper I use is 3M. All the painting equipment, painting supplies I use is 3M. They make the best stuff. You're going to spend all this time on your airplane. Why would you cheap it out? Get the $5 whatever. Let's see, what is that? That's mic mix. Okay, I'm going to turn this microphone off on my OBS, and I want to know if you guys can still hear me. So let me know when I give a thumbs up here. Let me know in the chat box if you still can hear me. All right. Can you guys still hear me? Maybe the audio is better now. Let me know. Can you see the thumbs up? Just a yes or a no. I guess the audio wasn't working. I don't know. I'm so sick of this stuff. The Eric Brin. I guess I'll have to wait until I go back and look. Oh, it does sound the same. Okay, I'm going to turn that off on OBS. I don't know where it's picking that up from. Let me look at properties. Properties. Not having a place to work from is very difficult, running the mouse on your chest. Properties. No, it says it's picking it up from the codec. I don't know. Oh well, I'll just let her run as is. I don't think I'm echoing, so it don't much matter. Right there, see that black piece of carbon? I'm going to take and do another dangerous move. Take a router bit. Do I want to use a router, or we'll try this. We'll try a we'll try that. That's a piece of carbon. And what will happen is, if I leave that carbon there, when I come back with my finger, there'll be a lump there. So I might as well get it out now. Okay, I've taken that lump down, or that black spot down below the superfill, so that when I come back and put the fillet in, I won't have a lump there. This is all about manipulating what you got, you know. So let's, I think that's decent for a standout. We've been on 30 minutes. I got a low spot right there. Gonna have to hit it with acro. I don't think I can get that out without digging a hole. And by the time I get this side sanded, we'll hit that with acro. By the time I get this side sanded, the acro will be dry on the other side, and I can sand it out. That's a nice thing about this green putty. It dries as fast as DC 540. But use it ever so sparingly. It's super heavy. I got 3 Dremel tools. I know I got 3, 4 more of them back in St. Louis. So what do you think of my wheel scratch? I'm gonna sand an airfoil on them, but it's all they took. I mean, I did them yesterday. Hey, great, Marcus. Buenas noches. Okay, let's do it all in the same. This here was acro green that I had a low spot, and I just scabbed it on there and blocked it out. It's still, if you build these airplanes and you don't run a foam leading edge or whatever, they're still going to have that starved horse look. And when the shine gets out, that's why it's a good thing not to paint your airplane black, because a black airplane would have to be absolutely perfectly straight. This is going to be white. This will be all checkerboard, so that'll break up the whole bottom of the airplane will be 2-inch checks. So we're not going to be able to see the starved horse look in the bottom. So the illusion, when you paint, I use the illusion, and don't try when you're painting to hide the mistake. Accent the mistake. If you got a line, let's say that, now I don't have that, but let's say that you have a line right there where you join the fuselage top and bottom together. Don't try to cover over it. Take the paint line and run it right on top of it, right on top of that line, and that'll hide it. That'll draw your eye away from it. And it's just like the cow lines. I try to run ink lines so that the cow line looks like part of the ink line. You know, use optical illusions to your advantage. Let's do this. You know, I haven't seen Hobby Show TV in a while. I need to go look and see if Carolina Fleuristy is still on. Una ruca tu bonita. And for you guys who don't speak Spanish, Too bad. But Marcos will understand what I said. I think he speaks Portuguese. Spanish is close, but when you get to talking to Orestes, he's Cuban. I can only get about every third word that he says. Man, we're going slow here. 36 minutes in. If I was just trying to grind this out, I'd have 80 grit on here and we'd be done. But I'm trying to do this in a finished state. I was watching Bad Chad again. He was taping. I sent him some dinero for some 3M with some good tape. He was taping with that crap green tape. This is the stuff to use. 3M Automotive Refinishing Masking Tape. This is the best. The green shit is terrible. The blue stuff is even worse. And the crate tape, that's old school. Of course, you guys know I use 3M Fine Line for color separation, but and Chad, if you're ever watching me, don't tell me you can't get it because it's made in Canada. This is the fast line. This is not as good as the 3M. Fast line is not as good as the 3M. This is the it says right on it, made in Canada, Fabrique au Canada, Hencho e Canada, Fabrico no Canada. So it's made in Canada. And that's the inside of it. And it's not the same as this. This stuff works, but you believe it or not, you can do color separations with this. Not quite as clean as Fine Line, but you can do color separations with it. Just so you guys know that 90% of the paint job is right here in the sandpaper. The spraying and stuff is not, it means nothing. I mean, you can spray it with a bug sprayer. Then the sanding. And that's why there's so much of it. I wish I would have done them tips a little different. Next one. I got the next one thought out. Remember, we're going to be building our Dauntless, RC Dauntless here shortly. I'll pick up the plans this weekend. I'm not going to be building a scratch. I'm going to be building the scratch-built Dauntless, but I'm not going to be designing it like I do these control line airplanes. And the reason for that is not that I can't do it. It's that I want new YouTube members, or to follow along. I want something that the RC guys will go, hey, that's a Dauntless. I know what that is. With an airplane like this, nobody knows what it is. It looks like I'm not going to get this sanded out on this session. We got about 18 minutes. I'm going to turn it over and we're going to sand out the 3M. That might take some more superfill on that one. Yeah. Yeah, more superfill on that one out, but I do need to round out that doodad. So like, subscribe, and share. I hope you guys learned something from me as I do these projects. That's kind of why I do them, because back in the day when I learned, nobody would tell you anything. What happened here? Just enough to trip and kill myself with these stupid slippers. Been welding all day today, making backpacks. 2 underbody boxes and a backpack. I'll be welding that underbody box next week, probably. I mean, the backpack next week. A lot of work. This is nowhere near ready for me to take it over to John's station, start picking it apart. Getting there though. I mean, I would say another week. This weekend it might get the tissue on the fuselage. Matter of fact, I know it'll get the tissue on the fuselage. I'll be doing, that's what I'll do. Saturday night, I'll stream from St. Louis, me putting the tissue on this fuselage. There won't be a Saturday at John's because I'll be driving. But we'll go ahead and Saturday night and put the tissue on the fuselage. And then Sunday when I drive home, maybe we'll do something after I get home. Depends on how tired I am. That's a half a week's work. But when I was driving truck, I used to do it all the time. Glad I don't do that no more. And I'm glad I'm not a Harley mechanic anymore, to be honest with you. Okay. Let's look and see what we got for the top. Ooh, man. Gotta be careful. Gonna dent that. Yep. Almost got it. Okay. About 30 minutes ago, we put that aqua green on there to try to get that out of there, and I think it'll get out of there no problem. Yeah, almost dries as fast as DC 540. We were looking at glues today at work. 3M77. That was the spray contact adhesive, almost as good as Weldwood. And it's become increasingly harder and harder to get. And I think they're taking it off the market for the same reason they took DC 540 off. It has xylene in it. And xylene is a drying agent. The thinner, xylene is a super hot thinner. So now they got a 3M45 spray. That ain't worth a damn. So the boss buys Gorilla Glue. I said, we'll be waiting all month for this stuff to dry. It's water-based. If it's biodegradable, non-toxic, and good for the environment, it don't work. That's just a simple fact of life. I've told this story before. When I was a kid, we had this, when I say kid, I was probably 15, because I used to do it for my dad. We had this stuff called chlordine dust. And buddy, it will kill cockroaches, mice, dogs, kids. It's poison. They took that off the market. Now you can't even get TSP anymore in the supermarket. It used to be 23 cents a box. TSP is soap. Trisodium phosphate. You go to the supermarket, say, you got any TSP? Oh, no, it's controlled substance. Give me a break. Got to get it at the hardware store. Wackos. Everybody's a wacko. Global warming? Yep. Good evening, Alex. It warms up every year. About summertime. Cools off every year. About wintertime. Climate change. Yeah, it's changing all right. Okay, so that transition I can't feel now, so that's going to be good. So I used superfill and feathered it out, and I couldn't get the superfill to feather, so I used the aqua green to finish feathering it out, and now you can't feel it. So if I were to shoot some primer on that, which I'm not going to shoot any primer on this airplane, if I were to shoot primer on that, I mean, that would be the top it off. Got away from primer because of the weight. I like primer, but it's going to add 2 to 3 ounces to your airplane. And let me tell you something, because I hear this all the time. Well, you sand it all off. That's very true. But I'll guarantee you that you can take an airplane and finish it. Oh, we got the wrong one anyway. No wonder why. And finish it, and then decide that you don't like it, and you're going to sand all the paint off, and you sand it all the way back down to the bare wood, and refinish it, it'll be 2 to 3 ounces heavier. And you say, well, how could that be? I sanded all the paint off. You can't sand down into the wood. It soaks into the wood. You have to replace the wood. So don't let anybody kid you about urethanes and water-based paint and all that other business. We're going to have to sand that right there when that dries. There's been many finishing methods go on, like polyacrylic. I've even done some Z-epoxy finishing. Bill Noyes used to use finishing resin. I don't remember the name of the, might have been West Systems finishing resin. I don't remember. It's been almost 50 years ago. And his finishes were beautiful, but those airplanes were heavy. There's nothing lighter than dope. Nothing. I don't care what anybody says. Because you lose 50% of the medium in the gas off. And you got to remember, if there was something lighter than dope, they'd be using it on real airplanes. But real airplanes use dope. This is just a smaller version of a real airplane. Might as well use dope. If you're going to use dope, you might as well get it from Wicks, because it's about 25% of the cost. Yeah, you have to buy a gallon, but at $50 for a gallon of clear dope, that'll do 4 airplanes. You know, complete. It'll do 4 airplanes complete, 1 gallon of clear dope. At $50, that's $12 per airplane. $12.50 per airplane. You buy that same quart of dope from SIG or Brodak or whatever, it's $25, so it's twice as much, and it doesn't go as far, and it takes twice as much. The solids and the pigments are different. So Aircraft Spruce, Wix Aircraft, there's another one, Acme or whatever. All the dope is made by the same manufacturer in California. That includes SIG, which is certified dope, Brodak dope, which is Randolph, only a different formula, Randolph, Acme, there's another one too, but it's all made in the same plant. It's all basically the same formula, and what it is melted down film. Nitrocellulose. Anyway, that's all I got. We got hour in. Not a whole lot of action on the chat session. I gotta turn these heaters off. Let me know what you guys want to see on these Hangar Rashes. I mean, I won't really start thrashing on this until I get a little bit closer on Saturday when I get the covering on the fuselage. We might start thrashing pretty good, where I get excited and do some longer sessions than an hour. Hand real quick. Take that ridge out of it. Now that I felt it, I need to remember it, so I might as well take it out now. Every time I sand this, it gets lighter and lighter, knocking the crap off of it. Yeah, almost got it. What the heck's going on here? All right, that about does it for this evening. Let's see what we got here. Well, Arturo, I'm going to be building an RC Dauntless from scratch here, starting probably next month as we run up towards the nets. It'll be RC airplane, completely scratch built, World War II Dauntless. It's going to entail a Sato 80. I got the engine right there. So it's going to be a big mama. I do have a radio. I don't fly radio control, but we'll get somebody to test fly it, and I'm probably going to give it away on the channel. But it'll be local pickup only. I'm not mailing it anywhere. But that'll take a year to build, and we'll spend time. I'll show you how to stack sand and plot ribs and do some other stuff. I don't know how much you looked at my channel, but there's almost 3,000 videos on my channel, and if you look in there, there's stack sanding, straight ribs, stack sanding a tapered wing, and stack sanding a double taper wing ribs, so you can learn how to plot your ribs out. There's lost foam building. There's compound molding and straight form molding. There's making landing gear and spinners, and there's all kind of stuff. If you want to waste some time, start surfing my channel. There is a lot of material in there. How to gold leaf, how to paint, how to run the stencil, do my sign plotter and all kind of nonsense. How to make decals. So I'm glad you're learning something from my channel. And all this is applicable to radio control. Everything I do here is the same as radio. Especially alignments and the molding of the balsa wood and, the basic construction and everything. So it's all applicable to radio. But nobody builds anymore. They just buy a foamy and go out and crash it. All right, guys, that's enough babbling. Appreciate it. Oh, thank you, Arturo. I've been building airplanes over 50 years, and you got to learn something in 50 years. You'd hope you would, and I'm just trying to pass it on. It's pretty easy to me. Things that I do, I take for granted. Some people don't know how to do them, but we'll show them to you anyway. I'm glad you like it, and we'll see you Saturday of some type. I'll be coming to you from St. Louis, so until I see you Saturday, fair winds, tight lines. See ya.